Mr. Lombardi, why is the Director of the Department of Corrections interested in early childhood education?
Well, that's a great question. Actually, I think any responsible Director of Corrections, if he looks into the future, realizes that early childhood is the long-term investment in really interdicting children from the criminal justice system. And we all should be, that should be our mission, is always to enhance public safety by making a difference with children and then when they become adults so that they don't commit crime.
Is there some data to back up what you're saying, that early childhood really would have an impact?
There absolutely is, and I guess the quintessential study is the Perry High Scope study that's been done, and I think the children that were put into that program are now in their 50s perhaps, and I know the last piece was in the 40s where they demonstrated that those children were 5 times less chance of having contact with the criminal justice system in later life than a control group that didn't get quality early childhood education.
You mentioned that this issue of investing more in early childhood education should be supported by people no matter where they are in the political spectrum. Why is that?
Well, I think I don't care where you are. If you are worried about the children and you're concerned about the humanitarian aspect of things and you worry about their family, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, that should be something that concerns you. On the other hand, if you're purely concerned about the fiscal aspect of saving money, not spending so much money on corrections, then that investment is wise, because if people don't come into the criminal justice system as a long-term result of their contact with quality early childhood education, then that saves enormous amounts of money, less taxes, money diverted to things that are much more important that you concern yourself with.
The research seems to be overwhelming that early childhood education is a good investment. What are the political obstacles that you see toward getting us there?
I think the issue is that it's such a long-term investment, it's hard sometimes for people to see that far into the future. And I think that's where the problem lies. It's not an immediate issue that will interdict crime, but it is the long-term investment based on the data that we have already, which shows that those who have had quality in their life later on, and again I go back to the Perry High Scope study, it shows that in fact people are not coming into the criminal justice system. So it's already saving money, but it's hard for people to see down the road that if I give X number of bucks to a preschool kid, that kid's chances of having contact with the criminal justice system is much less, and therefore in the long haul I will have to pay less money on crime, I will be safer in my community, I will have less law enforcement people, I have less corrections people. It's hard for people to look that far down the road, but it really is important for everybody to do so.
And you mentioned to the group here today that it really takes a grassroots effort and the involvement of people from lots of different organizations. Is that true?
It does. I think the way this can really happen is a huge collaborative effort by everybody who understands the data, understands and supports early childhood, and all the organizations that are involved need to come together. And they also need to make it a local issue. They need to talk to their local state rep and senator. They need to talk to their local constituents around their local community and bring them together to make this issue a huge issue that it should be.
Great, thank you very much.